Okay, so Mel, you stopped racing in what year?
I think about 2002 was my last Bathurst.
Okay, how many Bathursts did you do?
I did four of the Bathursts in the V8s, and then I'd actually done one prior to that in the last year that the 2 litre cars ran with the 5 litre cars, 1997. My memory's not too great with years. And had done prior to that a lot of 12-hour Bathursts and other races and a couple of 24 hours as well. So I think in total maybe around 10 or 11.
That's pretty good. That's a lot better than a lot of blokes around the place. Now, why did you stop? Was it funding or?
Look, I think there was a combination of things. When I was racing V8 Supercars, which was ultimately at the end of my career, it certainly, from where I was at, it wasn't a career as such where I could make a living out of that. It was something that we were a level 3 privateer, and extremely grateful just for the opportunity to be on the grid and doing what we love doing and not having to pay money to do that. So it certainly wasn't a huge income generator. So I think part of that was, didn't really want to pop out the other end of having just done that my whole life and have nothing else behind me. So I had felt the need to sort of start a career and want to, have a backup plan. And also, I guess there was, through my time in racing, certainly had some amazing experiences, but had some not so great experiences as well. And it almost got to the stage where, I don't know, sometimes I felt like the negatives outweighed the positives a bit, and I probably, just thought it was time to have a break.
Okay, so you obviously missed it a fair bit though?
Look, I was quite relieved, I guess, when I first left, to leave the attention and the negatives and other stuff and just start a normal life, and didn't give it a lot of thought. Filled up my time trying to start a business and build a career and do other things. And it probably wasn't until, a lot of stuff obviously happened in that time, but when I'd moved back to Melbourne after being living interstate for a long time, and Dad was working as the engineer / mechanic / pit crew on a Formula Junior that was owned by a very good family friend of ours, Kim Shern, and sort of said, Kim's going overseas for a while, and said, we can have a run in the Lotus while he's away. And I said, what, do you mean me drive? And he said, yeah. And I hadn't had my CAMS licence for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. I had to go back on my P plates, and sort of slept on that and thought, oh, that's a bit interesting. So anyway, before you know it, we're off to Winton for a little test day the following week, and I guess it all started again from there.
So Mel, okay, it's been a few years and now you're sort of pretty keen again, but there's lots happening in your life during that. You've had a child, and but it wasn't that simple. Can you tell us just what sort of, I guess, problems that happened along the way with that?
Yeah, I got pregnant with my beautiful daughter Lily in 2010, and I was about 7.5, 8 months pregnant when I got diagnosed with breast cancer. So that was, obviously pretty terrible news. By the time all that filtered through to biopsies and tests and whatever, the day that the results came back, and they called me into the office and said, you've got breast cancer. Lily was due in 2 days' time, so I guess from a timing point of view, it was good for her. So they said, go home, pack your bags, and come to the hospital, and we'll induce the baby today. So we're sort of the best day and the worst day of my life all in the same day. So Lily was born the next day, and treatment started the following week. We had surgery when she was 7 days old, and then again 3 weeks after that, and then chemotherapy and radiation and some other hormone drugs and various other bits and pieces. So that was a pretty obviously horrible time for us and our family, but I was very grateful that through all that I didn't have a lot of time to get sad or upset, because I had this beautiful little baby to put a smile on my face every day.
Did that concern you as far as, was that going to affect Lily at all as far as the birth and what have you? I mean, does that creep into the head at that time?
Oh, look, I think, I remember leaving the doctor's office after he'd given us the news, and I had James, Lily's father, and my mum there, and, I was out here. I just sort of went to stand on the hill overlooking the ocean and digest it all, and I guess my biggest worry was, that I've got this little baby that hasn't even entered the world yet, and I just want to be around to be her mum forever and not leave her.